Good afternoon and welcome to M.M.E. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today I'm bringing you Air Raid and Overaid from Transformers Earthrise. Air Raid is from the regular release, and Overaid is an Amazon exclusive from the Botropolis Rescue Pack. So here they are. They're pretty cool little Transformers, honestly. They're about average size for deluxes. We discussed that in the YouTube short I did on their sizes and comparisons. But overall, they're pretty cool little guys. And if I'm not trying my best to find something here that it's gotten a little cluttered, hasn't it? Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, cool. So I just needed one of these little MicroMasters, and we'll set that off to the side so we can begin. So let's move. Which one are you? Which one? Which one are you? You are. I think you're actually Overaid. Air Raid, so we'll set Air Raid off to the side. We'll talk about Overaid today. Yeah. The guy without the gun in his hand. So, I like Overaid. He's an Autobot. And the Decepticons are cool, but Autobots are also pretty cool. Alright. First things first, when talking about the Air Raid mold here, is that we need to look at his shoulder. Okay? Now, his shoulder can shut. I can pull out his little gun here on that I have under the shoulder, and it can close down and look a lot like a Zaku 2 from Gundam, when the Zaku 2 armor on the shoulder. That's something you can do. But I want to showcase what you can do as well. You can raise that panel up so that it's flush with the shoulders, and then you can take your little MicroMaster jets, and you can just place it there. Yeah. It doesn't stick in. Sadly, there's no peg underneath the thing that you can spin out, so you can put it in a peg hole. But it is you do have the ability to put a MicroMaster there. I do wish they had come out with a MicroMaster helicopter. I think then you would have that would have been even cooler to have a little helicopter chilling on his shoulder. But that's something you can do, and that's the MicroMaster playability with this. And another little size comparison I wanted to give you is not that. Where did you go? Where did you go? Oh, wait. That's not it. Huh. I lost a little transformer. Oh, here he is. Hey. There you are. Countdown. Okay, so Countdown. We got little Countdown transformed into his robot mode, so we can do a little comparison. Countdown goes all the way up to the top of the boot of the Air Raid mold. It's a decent mold. It's a decent size for a MicroMaster base, and I think it's really interesting to have a transformer that becomes a building. I absolutely love the idea of transformers becoming buildings and things like that. Like I want to see more of that. I know it's not something you play with too much, but you get a bunch of transformers that become wall sections, and then you can build a wall around a fortress with a bunch of transformers. And you're playing, your fortress needs to move, you need to move bases. Well, your fortress just transforms into a bunch of robots and walks across the battlefield and then transforms back into a fortress somewhere else. I think that'd be really cool, and I do believe that would be a neat little play style. But that's just me, and that's the things I think about. So let's continue talking. Let's do the siege ports. He only comes with 10 siege ports. He's got one on his one on each of his shoulders. He has one on his hand. He's got one on the back of his head. He has two, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he's got one on the back of each of his thighs. So that's 5 and 6. And then he's got 7 and 8 on the backs of his legs, and then 9 and 10 on the underside. Siege peg-wise, he's got 1, 2 on the fronts of his legs, 3, 1 on his arm, none on his other arm, so that's 3 pegs, 4 and 5 pegs on either side of his head. So that's 5 pegs that he has and 10 peg holes. It's pretty decent little spread, though for a building I would have expected more, honestly. He's got the same problem with like Omega Supreme has, where Omega Supreme's awesome. It's just it doesn't have any siege ports. There's plenty on the rocket, but there's none on the base itself, so you can't you can't set the base out to be just chock full of guns and other accessories. Like that would have been really cool. Sadly, though, that's not the case. That's not the case at all, and that's kind of a shame. I dislike that. I wish that they had done something else with that. Maybe given him some more siege ports. That would have been cool. So let's talk about the articulation now. So articulation wise, his shoulders do the 360, though they have an interesting shoulder joint. The shoulder joint for this that moves the arm up and down, the deltoid, is lower than the actual place where the shoulder's plugged in. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's just down a little bit from there. It's very odd, and that's a very unique choice. So instead of raising up the entire shoulder, you can only raise up the arm below the shoulder, which means that if you put something in this siege port here, you lose the ability to raise this arm up at all, and that is a major negative of this guy. You know, he's not the greatest. He's showcasing all the problems with Earthrise. Some problems with somebody just didn't really consider completely all the implications of making that shoulder joint. But overall, it's decent for what it is. So further going, we've got some thighs. We've got a waist swivel. Waist swivel. There's nothing going on with the hands, and it's got a 90-degree shoulder, elbow. It also has 90-degree knees, and it can kick up a little more than 90 degrees on the side. Let's raise that arm up a bit. Yeah, actually it kicks up at 90 degrees on the side. And then you come down here and you've got the toe tilt, the ankle tilt for the foot. That's something that I really appreciate. I love that, and that's something that was like the biggest negative with the Victory Leo. Victory Leo's ankle tilt was only for his front toe bits, so the rest of his foot didn't tilt with his toes, which irritated the snot out of me. I'm going to be straight with you about that one. I knocked over Thundercracker. Oops, sorry. No, Skywarp. Sorry, Skywarp. You stand up, Skywarp. There you go. All right. So that is articulation for him. Now let's discuss the sculpt work. This guy's got some really cool sculpting to him. He feels like a giant robot. He does with the tank treads that are his thighs that kind of give you an implication of his size and scale. Like these tank treads are big, and when you take something like little countdown here, and we're going to we're going to raise this arm up, raise it up. Now we're just going to take it off. Yeah, we'll just take it off. That's the nice thing. You can just take things off. So we've got the treads here, and we've got countdown next to them, and we're going to use countdown's foot. So we're just going to bend him and transform him in such a way so his foot can just rest there. This thigh is larger than his foot, like his lower leg area, below the knee. And if you get this little tire here, and now let's see if we can find a good tread on that side. Let's see. Gotta feel. Yeah, so that's all that's tread sculpture, like the little wheels that control the tread. So we can put our little wheel from Countdown next to it, and we get the fact that these wheels are about half the size of Countdown's wheel, at least in diameter speaking. And that's something that I think is really neat, and it showcases more. This is supposed to be a very large transformer. I mean, when you consider that Countdown, with his size, is supposed to be something akin to what? Nuts. Did I knock over the guy I was looking for? No, I knocked over the bat. Stand up, bat. Where's the guy I'm looking for? Here it is. Nuts. I knocked that guy over. So, when you consider that Countdown, at least in the size scale wise, is supposed to be something like First Aid here is in his deluxe form. So that's the height of Countdown if you were to make him unto a deluxe. Now, considering that means that Air Raid here, if you were to upscale him with Countdown, would become something akin to the size of Omega Supreme or Black Zarek. That's he becomes a big guy, and I think it would have been cool if we had gotten Air Raid and Ironworks as Titan class. I think that would have been freaking awesome. That would have been really cool to get them as that, and put them in the perfect scale with deluxe class. That would have been really cool. I would have really enjoyed that. Or just upscaled them a bit to put them in perfect scale with core class, because they're not quite perfect core class, but they're pretty darn close. Now let's discuss the sculpt work on this. Okay, so on the front we've got these two giant tetrahedron things, one on each of his breasts. We come down, he's got a deep set breastbone. He's got cleavage. Yeah, he's got cleavage. And come down here, he's nothing but some robot textures going on. And it's a big clunky guy at the top, and we come down here to his legs, and we get the thighs that are made of these treads, the tank treads thighs. I think that's really cool. I love the fact that they're made out of tank treads, and you can consider that to be just a really nice little feature about it. I think that's a good sculpt work. Then you come down here to where the legs. Now the legs are made up of parts of the runway for the airport, and that's really fun because you get these really good textures going down either side of the leg. Now the front of it is a bit rougher and it has that peg sticking out, but that's not that's because it's not part of the runway. It can actually attach other things to it when he's in base mode. So that's really cool. I think these textures are really nice, and I love how sleek and smooth these runway pieces are. Now I do think that because of the way it works, sadly, the best texture is on the inside of the leg. This texture where the runway goes all the way to the ground and has the toe tilt in it. And I think that's the best. That is the best one, and it's a shame it doesn't really showcase that much. Now, the arms are really interesting. One of them has this, it's assembled out of that thing at the airports that sticks out from the airport and connects to the plane. And that's what this his right arm is made out of. And then at the end of his right arm, he's got the watchtower, the control tower for the airport, and the actual stand that the control tower sits on. They turn into his arm gun for his right arm. The other piece is on his left shoulder. He only comes with those three accessories, if you don't count the fact that he is also a bunch of accessories. Now, the we're getting to the right arm. The right arm's got a lot of panels, and they've got that cut on the front of them, that wedge-shaped thing sticking out that you see on the front of aircraft carriers. Now, I have no idea why that exists, at least on the aircraft carrier. I'm pretty sure there's a reason that exists, but aesthetically speaking, it is kind of cool. They do feel like nice little claw bits. It's pretty neat. And finally, my favorite part about this guy, well, actually, the fist. The fist is decently sculpted, but it doesn't do anything. It's just hard plastic sculpted in there. The head is my favorite part of this character. I love this head. This head sculpt is really cool. It reminds me a lot of of a robot. It is a straight robot head. There is no auditory, no facial features, nothing to make him look kind of human. He's just straight up robot. I'm pretty sure there's a visor in there. But let me know in the comments below if that's a visor or that's like three eyeballs or something. I really can't get my finger in there too well to find out, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty cool. I like the head sculpt. The head sculpt, in my opinion, is one of the best parts about this character. This is such a cool head sculpt, and it's rare that we get full robot head sculpts like Shockwave's. This is not something that's very common, and I appreciate that. We get all these cool heads going left and right, but now we get this head, and this head's just squat, and it's logical. It just feels robotic. It's the most robotic feeling head that I have had so far, next to Shockwave. Um, Now, a couple of cool tricks you can do for your display features for this character. Now that we're done with the sculpting, you can switch it so that his legs are actually better. So what we're going to do is, the thing I dislike most about this character is the fact that for some reason they thought putting the caster wheels in this inner tread area out front was a good idea. I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. They could have switched the peg around in the leg so that this side became the part that the knee folded in instead of the other side. Like the knee folds on the other side very well, but it doesn't fold over this tread stuff. So the tread stuff's got to be on the front, and the siege port's got to be in the back, and I find that to be annoying. So you can twist each of these legs, twist the thighs, okay, so that the caster wheels are facing inwards, and you got this big flat thing that goes all the way up the side of the thigh. Now remove the legs, okay, and switch them. You want to move the legs over to each side. Now this is just going to help keep him a little more stable, and it will look a little better. It will look kind of cool. So we're going to put it there, and then we're going to put this one here on this side. Go. Now, sadly, you do lose out on you lose out on the knee articulation for this and the toe tilt. So be aware of that. But when you do it like this, he's got a siege port on each side of his leg. And you don't got that annoying texture of the underside of treads going on. On the front, you've got this really nice texture of the side of the tank treads. I think that it feels better, in my opinion. It's a better transformer this way. And you can, like I said, you can take a gun and you can go ahead and put it right there. Look at that. That's cool. Yeah, he's got guns on his waist now. Yeah, he's a gunslinger. Yeah. All right. That is my episode today on the robot mode for Air Raid and Overaid. Do I recommend you buying them at full market price? No, I'm pretty sure you can find these for cheaper. And good luck finding them for cheaper. That is the way to go about them because these are army builders, and you can get a few of them to help stack out your Autobot city or your Decepticon city, whatever Cybertronian city you want to make. These will give you some really good road pieces to make that city. So stay tuned into my channel, blind_prime. I'm doing a double video upload today. Yesterday's video on Air Raid was just, I didn't like it. I watched it this morning. I was like, that's kind of a trashy video. I was pretty mad whenever I made that video. So I decided, just scrap that video, make this video, and post it today. We're going to do a double upload today. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm can forgive me. Thank you for watching today's video on Air Raid and Overaid, the building formers, the modulators from Earthrise. Until next time, bye-bye for now.